there is a reason you feel better clicking Add to Cart than you do when the package actually arrives. A neuroscientist at Stanford named Robert Sapolsky spent 30 years studying dopamine, and what he found completely changed how researchers think about spending, saving, and why your brain keeps dragging you back to your phone. By the end of this video, you will understand the exact neurological loop your brain runs every time you spend money. And once you see it, you will never look at a checkout button the same way again. Most people think dopamine is the pleasure chemical. That is wrong. Dopamine is not released when you get something. It is released when you anticipate getting something. The wanting, not the having. Sapolsky ran experiments where monkeys could press a button to get a reward. When the reward was guaranteed, dopamine barely moved. But when the reward was uncertain, maybe they would get it, maybe they would not, dopamine spiked to levels that looked almost identical to addiction. Sound familiar? Variable reward is the entire architecture of online shopping, social media, and every app designed to keep you spending. Here is the loop your brain runs without telling you. You see something, a deal, a new product, a limited time offer. Dopamine spikes in anticipation. You imagine owning it, using it, feeling different because of it. That imagination is the peak of the entire experience. You buy it, dopamine drops, the uncertainty is gone, so the signal disappears, the package arrives. You feel almost nothing. Not disappointment exactly, just a return to baseline. And then your brain, starved for that anticipation feeling, starts looking for the next thing. That is not a character flaw. That is a feedback loop your brain was literally built to run. Now here's where it gets expensive. Psychologists have a name for what happens after you buy something: hedonic adaptation. It means that whatever you just acquired, the car, the shoes, the phone upgrade, your brain recalibrates to treat it as normal within weeks. The new baseline is higher. The thing that thrilled you in January is invisible to you by March. A study from Cornell followed lottery winners and people who had become paraplegic in accidents. Within 1 year, both groups had returned to almost exactly the same happiness level they reported before their life changed. One group won millions of dollars, the other lost the use of their legs. Same happiness level 12 months later. That is how powerful adaptation is. It resets everything. And it is why the next purchase never quite delivers what the last one promised. In a minute, I want to show you exactly how retailers have weaponized this loop and the two-word phrase that breaks it. But first, the most expensive version of this pattern that most people never recognize: lifestyle inflation. You get a raise. Within 6 months, your expenses have risen to match your new income. You feel no richer than before. This is not laziness. It is hedonic adaptation combined with social comparison, running on autopilot. Your reference point for normal shifts upward with your income. Studies show that across income levels from $30,000 to $300,000 a year, people consistently report feeling like they need about 20% more than they currently earn to feel comfortable. At every income level, that target moves with them. This is why income alone never solves the problem, because the brain recalibrates the finish line every time you cross it. Wealth is not what you earn. It is the gap between what you earn and what your brain has decided is normal. Now let me show you how retailers design for this. Every major e-commerce platform has been optimized around one insight: remove friction from the dopamine loop. One-click checkout eliminates the pause between wanting and buying. That pause is where your prefrontal cortex could intervene. Without it, you are buying on dopamine alone. Countdown timers create artificial scarcity, which activates loss aversion on top of dopamine anticipation. 2 biases firing at once. Only 3 left in stock triggers the same response as a threat. Your brain stops evaluating the item and starts trying to secure it. Free returns remove the psychological commitment of buying, which lowers the friction further. Subscribe and save automates the dopamine loop so it runs without you even deciding. Every one of these features was designed by someone who understood your neurology better than you do. Knowing this does not make you immune, but it does give you something your brain does not have by default: a moment of recognition. And that moment is worth more than any willpower you could muster. So what actually works? The research points to a few things that genuinely interrupt the loop, not by suppressing desire, but by using your brain's own wiring against the pattern. First, the 72-hour rule. Add the item to your cart and wait 72 hours before buying. This does two things. It lets the dopamine spike from anticipation happen without the purchase, and it lets hedonic adaptation begin to work on the imagined version of the item. By hour 72, most people do not want the thing anymore. The wanting has already happened. Second, experience over objects. Psychological research consistently shows that experiences adapt more slowly than objects. A vacation becomes a story that gets richer with retelling. A piece of furniture becomes invisible within a month. Shifting spending toward experiences, meals, travel, skills, time, changes the adaptation curve. Third, name the feeling. When you feel the pull to buy something, say out loud or in your head, that is dopamine anticipation. Labeling an emotion activates the prefrontal cortex, the rational part of your brain, and reduces the emotional signal by up to 50%, according to research from UCLA. 2 words, dopamine anticipation. That is the phrase that breaks the loop, not "I need to be more disciplined," not "I am bad with money," just dopamine anticipation, and then wait 72 hours. Your spending is not a willpower problem. It never was. It is a neuroscience problem, and neuroscience problems have neurological solutions. Sapolsky's monkeys could not help responding to variable reward. But you can name the loop, and naming it is the first moment you are actually in control of it.